learners, how are you today? I'm welcoming you to our IRA lesson for grade 4. Our strand is Quran, our substrand is basic meaning of Surah Al-Ikhlas. In our previous lessons, we have learned about Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Nas, and Surah Al-Falaq. So, when we began learning about Surah Al-Ikhlas, we first described why Allah revealed the surah. I told you that there were Jews who went to the Prophet and asked him to describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet, being a wise and a patient man, said that in his mind, he thought that it was wise for him to keep quiet and wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to describe himself using his own words. That is why Surah Al-Ikhlas was revealed. Now, when we were beginning learning about the surah, I told you that Ikhlas means purity of faith, which means that you should only worship Allah and not any other person. Allah wants to be worshipped, He and He by Himself. Don't associate Allah with any other person. Don't worship any other person apart from Allah. Hence the word Ikhlas, which means purity of faith. And I also told you that another name of Surah Al-Ikhlas is At-Tawheed. At-Tawheed means oneness of Allah, which means you only worship one Allah. You should not worship any other person apart from Allah, nor should you associate Allah with any other person. Now today we are going to learn about basic meaning of Surah Al-Ikhlas. And before that, let us look at some words which we might come across when we are looking at the basic meaning of Surah Al-Ikhlas. I'm going to start with the name of the surah, which is Ikhlas. Ikhlas, I said Ikhlas means purity of faith. If somebody asks you, what does purity of faith mean? Purity of faith means worshiping only one Allah without any other partner or without associating Him with any other person. Another key word we are going to come across is Samad. Samad. Samad means eternal, something which lives forever. Allah described Him as Samad, which means He lives forever. So, Samad means eternal. So, the word Samad means eternal. What does that mean? It means that Allah described Himself as a person who lives forever. He never dies and He will never die, and He will still be there. Even when the world will come to an end, Allah will still be there, and He has been there. So, let us go through verse by verse, learning about the basic meaning of Surah Al-Ikhlas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the One. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the One. So, another word which you have come across now is the word ahad. Ahad means one, which means we only worship Allah. Allah described Himself as one Allah. There are no more than one Allah, only one Allah, and only one Allah should be worshipped. We Muslims, we should only worship one Allah. That is the meaning of the first verse. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the One. Allahu Samad, verse number 2. Allahu Samad. Say, He is Allah, the Eternal. I told you the meaning of the word Samad is eternal. Someone who lives forever. Allah never dies and He will never die. So Allah described Himself as a person who lives forever and never dies. Now we are in verse number 3. The first one was Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the One. Allahu Samad. Say, He is Allah, the Eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He was never born and and He doesn't give birth. That means Allah doesn't have any children. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He was never born and He never gives birth. Wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. And no any other thing can be compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is just unique in His own ways. Nothing equals to Allah. Nothing can be compared to Allah. He is just one extraordinary person who cannot be compared with any other person. Now learners, I'm sure you have known about the basic meaning of the 4 verses of Surah Al-Ikhlas. Let me just give you a recap. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That means in the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the one. Allahu samad. Say, He is Allah, the eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He was never born and He never gives birth. Wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. And nothing can be compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is just unique in His own words. So Allah described Himself using Surah Al-Ikhlas, and that is how the Prophet described Allah to the Jews who had come to answer him about describing Allah. Now learners at home, here is the surah with its meaning. Kindly go through it and memorize the meaning of each verse of the Holy Surah. Ma'asalam.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
Qul huwallahu ahad.
Say, He is Allah, who is one.
Allahu samad.
Allah, the eternal refuge.
Lam yalid wa lam yulad.
He neither begets nor is born.
وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ.
Nor is there to Him any equivalent.